The other day I mentioned how things sometimes can be right under your nose.
What?
Talking to the camera. Uh, I got this cup right here, and it's Isaiah. It says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." And there's this part in the Bible where Solomon sins, and there's like basically like 10 tribes stripped away and sent into captivity, into slavery. And this is outlined in this book called Second Ezra, where it says while these guys were in captivity that they conspired to flee to a further or farther away land, which in the book it's described as the hidden land. And it says that God actually held back the waters so they could get out of that area and get into the sea. So basically, this book chronicles how some men left seaward, and they conspired to go to a far land where they could keep their customs that they couldn't keep anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, no, we don't want to give up our stuff. So look, we're gonna run away slaves. Basically, another faction of runaway slaves, basically. And a lot of those tribes were mercenaries. So who knows how long they served under these people as mercenaries and before they got free. So who knows of the exploits of these lost sheeps? You know what I'm saying? This out of these sheeps, they were more like rams. You know what I mean? Or even described that way. Swift as roes in the mountains. So that's part of their characteristics. But yeah, it's just funny, it says it right there. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. So I mean, they came over here according to the thing, to kind of like pilgrims, just like the pilgrims did. The Indians previously came here as pilgrims to follow their true religion. Ain't that the irony of life? That how that worked, how the Catholics were supposedly converting to them to what maybe they were already attached to already, and it just the lack of communication or proper interpretation, or what is that called? Yeah, when you got your interpreter, when two people can't speak a language, a person stands there to, that's quite ironic. You know what I mean? How that plays out there. They're supposedly, teaching you of something and bringing you to something that they actually pulled you out of, and you know what I mean, which is they went around the earth and uprooted all these things intentionally, man. So it's because they no more want Israel to be remembered about the earth, and God's miracles no longer to be proclaimed. The Indians said that God led them here through signs, basically, and that's their testimony, is that God, and it's not, it's God. It's the Lord of spirits, the Lord of the Great Spirit. I mean, that's how it's described in Numbers. I heard him call him the Lord of Spirits. So I'm like, that's not just in Enoch. That's in also Numbers. So these are just things you got to look at, man. The fringes is dead bang on Ski like Wansky, that they either learned the customs or were taught by Hebrews, rogue runaway Hebrews. I don't know, or they are themselves. That's a better. You got to get out of thinking out of the Bible people as Jewish. Jews are just Judah. You know what I'm saying? But Judah also adopted some of Benjamin, and they got some of Levi in there. All tribes have some of Levi scattered amongst them. You know what I mean? So these are things, man, these little mysteries that if you don't got the certain details, you ain't going to understand how the breakdown is, how the scattering is. And it's prophecy, and it was also done out of love for God to, on the flip, God's be like, look how I preserved the word so you can know your history. And though they tried to stop, the devil tried to rob it all, man. And and conceal it, and it's not going to be so, because it's still there, man. The promise is there, and the fact that it has came to pass. It's prophecy. It's like it's more minor prophecies, but they're still important. These things have to happen. In Revelations, it talks about there's so many, like basically it's like basically patriarchs of these tribes throughout time. They're kind of going to be kind of remembered. It's like and people have to take this into consideration so they can know the truth of the matter, and how it's important to what, not what man thinks, but what God thinks. What did God say? What does Scripture say? Screw what I think. I'm just a God. I'm just pointing out certain scriptures, and then I throw in some history, truths, factual information as well. I mean, yeah, that stuff you can't. I mean, my opinion is